how are you doing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Reed.
Thanks so much for being here today. I'm
you.
Darren.
Hey,
Pleasure to
Darren.
meet you.
Thanks for having us.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Neil.
Welcome back to Conway Recording Studios. Please sit down. You're watching EW Lightbulb, presented by Glade. Thank you guys so much for being here today.
Thanks,
for having
Good
us.
talking to you.
And I want to talk a little about how you guys first formed together as, co-musicians beyond just being siblings.
Well, live music definitely did happen for
did.
us first and for years before we even stepped a toe into the studio. So I think that still has carried over. Like, live is our very first love. It's what we know more than anything. But the first project that we actually put down to tape was probably pulled more to our indie rock roots than our country roots.
Oh, interesting. What kind of influences were going into that first recording?
We grew up on Bobby Gentry. We grew up on the Rolling Stones, loved them.
Huge Rolling Stones fans. Definitely those roots were in that project, but something really interesting happened in that recording process. The night before the last day of our sessions, we wrote If I Die Young. And so it was like this one song that sounded so different than everything else that we had just spent like 3 weeks recording. I think that was the moment that we were like, okay, the course of our musical future might have just taken a very welcome detour.
Yeah.
With country music and with folk music, there's always kind of this focus on the purity of the genre and this focus on, what is country and what is Americana. Do you guys ever worry about that, or is that something you think, let's see what we can work with?
The essence of us very much loves a lot of traditional country elements. We love three-part harmony. We love the stories that country songs tell, and we love a lot of the instrumentation as well. But we also love a lot of what Michael Jackson brought to, music, and what Motown and what the Rolling Stones
What
did.
Jay-Z brings to music,
Yeah.
We love pop culture, we love pop music as well, and so I think, right now as we're making our third record, country music has changed so much in the last 5 years, and so we're really asking ourselves some of these same questions, as artists in country music who have also had songs that have reached out further into the world. We're so grateful for that. So we're looking at ourselves creatively and going, all right, how do we reckon with all of this stuff that's happening? And what we love about pop music right now are the beats. We love the sounds of the records.
energy.
And they have great melodies. I mean, Bruno, what Mark Ronson and Bruno are doing with Uptown Funk, we're playing it in our show.
We are.
Well,
so good.
the three of us, if you've ever seen a Band Perry show, the three of us are very energetic live. We love to move. We put on one of those watches that tells how many miles you've run, and we run like 4 miles in a show. Yeah. So the three of us love a crazy, sweaty rock and roll show, and music that feels that way on an album, that's the perfect fit for the three of us.
What's interesting, I feel like from your first album to your second album, there was already kind of such an evolution in some respects of the sound. Is that kind of like, are you kind of looking to have that same kind of evolution going into album number 3?
I think our evolution has always been based on what is the most authentic and the most excellent thing that we can bring at this moment. And we're very emotional artists. I think that's why we like to leave it all on stage. If we've had a bad day, you're gonna feel it. We are extra intense on stage. If we've had a really good one, we're extra fun on stage. So we kind of approach our albums in the same way.
For us, it was just a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and we're really proud of what we got. But even for the third album, we're actually taking time off of the road so we can live life, learn from it, and then write about it as well.
You're touring around so much, you're working on your new album, and along with all that, you are also siblings, and so presumably you guys hang out together quite a bit outside of working together. What's that actual kind of process?
Well, we do work as a democracy, so we say, but that democracy comes from a lot of debate. So we have 3
It's a parliamentary democracy.
Yeah. There's a lot of debate. So I would say Reed is the most persistent one of the 3 of us.
Hard-headed.
But I'm the most emotional and loudest one of the 3 of us. And
You're both pretty much the same.
Even killed. Neil's not really loud.
Okay, Kimberly has certain words that she just says, I will not put in a song.
It's true.
And no matter how much another person loves that word, it's off the list.
Are these specific words, or they apply to
Train.
different songs?
Train is a word.
Butterflies.
Butterflies.
Anything with I hate the word fantasy in a song.
Anything happy, she's just.
And then
What about joy? What about sunshine?
Joy? Sunshine, no, it's an awful. So many people have made careers off of those words, but for some reason coming out of my mouth, it doesn't ring true. And that's fair to say. Like, I don't think I could sell this in a true.
I also love the if you don't like this idea, well then you come up with a better one.
That's
my favorite
another
one.
good
All
line that
that
she
to
has.
say, it is a majority rules is what idea we end up on, right?
Yeah, well, I do think iron sharpens iron, though, you know? And every time we challenge each other's ideas, the idea gets better.
Yeah.
Because the process, sometimes it's a fast one, sometimes it's a little bit more laborious. It always leads us to a strong getting together.
You guys are working on your third album right now. When you look at kind of like, the career arcs of artists or musicians you really aspire to, who's someone, either a band or a person, that you kind of look at them and say, like, that's kind of what, not necessarily be like them musically, but that's the kind of career that we look forward to having.
You mean just to be them, Beyonce?
Yeah.
I just would like to be Beyonce.
Kimberly, we agreed. I'm Beyonce. To be honest with you, as long as we're enjoying it, I think we're going to keep going as long as we can. And when the time comes, if we don't enjoy it, that's when we need to become songwriters or something.
Totally. I think we also have taken a lot of cues career-wise from Freddie Mercury and Queen. You know, they talked a lot about how Freddie had this vision of what he wanted to do and what he wanted to be long before he became it. And I think that there's something really important in seeing yourself and where you want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and sticking to that vision, even if everyone around you is sort of like, those are some big aspirations right there. I think it's so important to dream. And
Believe
I
in
think that
yourself.
the three of us do that together, and we're kind of there to keep the dream moving forward. So I think artists like that, they really inspire us.
Did you take any fashion cues from Freddie Mercury and Queen?
Well, what do you think? Of course.
Watch all of EW Lightbulb, presented by Glade.